Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. JP and Global both had a data download this morning, so we're going to be going over all the stuff that came from that global data download, from the free-to-play EZAs, the Dokkan awakenings of the free-to-play cooler units, and how many stones we're going to be getting for part 2 tomorrow when it does indeed begin. So don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, support is very much appreciated, and let's get into it. So on Raspy's Twitter, he's got the stone count right now for part 2 beginning tomorrow. Also, I've seen that it does look likely that the banners are going to drop on the 14th and the 15th next week, which I found a little bit weird considering we already have the LR illustrations released yesterday. So waiting an extra week for the banners to drop, kind of weird timing, but I guess here we are. Not too long of a wait, but part 2 is beginning tomorrow, and with part 2 dropping, we're getting even more content, and we're getting over 150 stones tomorrow in total, 152. I will leave Raspy's link in the description down below. But from the missions, we're getting 15 stones. From unclaimed rewards, we're getting 72. From the new EZA for the Dokkan Metal Cooler, we're getting 34, which, by the way, I've seen some screenshots. He's looking decent. The new challenge event, we're getting 35, which I'm pretty sure is the part 2 variation of the Metal Cooler movie of the one we had in part 1 around with the Revenge of Cooler movie. So I think that's what that's called. The SNS campaign, we get an extra 2 stones. From the new link level event, we're getting 1, which I've also seen has higher rates for link levels than the Guru event. And again, you can attempt it 3 times a day, which we kind of went over in yesterday's video, but that's very nice. I mean, I hope the rates are increased, considering when I've done the Guru event, I got no link levels off it, so here's to hoping. We're getting 8 stones from the new story event, Fight Battle for the Strongest of the Universe for the Metal Cooler version. We're getting missions now for the movie edition. I said this will probably happen, of Red Zone. They're literally the same missions as the GT edition Red Zone, which is beat stage 7 in 7 turns, which for Broly, that's probably going to be kind of difficult, I'm not going to lie, especially considering how dangerous the AoE phase is. Also, what is it? All one type of each unit in or on a superclass team, and then the exact same thing for an extreme class team. Then we have the new stages of Red Zone for the Wicked Bloodline edition, where we're going to get another 12, which stage 3 I also heard is looking to be, or will be of course King Cold, but apparently it's going to be Mecha Frieza, then King Cold, and then stage 4 is of course Metal Cooler, but apparently the way it will play out will be the Robot Soldier, Metal Cooler by himself, then the Metal Cooler army. And then we're getting another attempt for the upcoming week for the Protect the Senzu Beans of Hope, where we get an extra 30 stones, and then as I said, we're getting 152 stones in total, so us free-to-play players are of course eating good. You know, the discount's probably continuing. That's another rotation, that's buy 3 get 1 free, so looking forward to that. So we have the EZA details for the upcoming EZA area for the free-to-play cooler unit. Leader skills neither here nor there for both the free-to-play units. Of course, he stacks, which is very nice for longer events, causes supreme damage to enemy and greatly lowers attack. On his passive, attack plus 150 and defense plus 100%, plus an additional defense plus 20% with each super attack performed up to 50%. So in total, you'll have an extra 50% defense, and it'll be 150 for both attack and defense after that's done. Terrifying Conquerors category allies get key plus 3 and attack and defense plus 30%. Also, Terrifying Conquerors category allies get a chance of performing a critical hit plus 7% for 3 turns after the character receives an attack 5 or more times in battle. Now, I'm not gonna lie, really surprised he doesn't have a built-in additional. I know he's not a final form cooler unit. However, to stack this up or build this up quicker, considering it's on super attack, having a built-in additional with like a 30% chance of launching an additional super attack, which a lot of final form cooler units have, again I know he's not final form, would have helped this a lot. And considering he's a free-to-play unit with less stats than of course summonable units, and he stacks defense, which is good, having a built-in additional or with a 30% chance of becoming a super attack would have been great to build this up quicker, to make him more viable and useful in harder content, especially because he's also a good support unit for Terrifying Conquerors, which, by the way, Terrifying Conquerors are up in this celebration, like they are winning big time. So yeah, kind of weird he doesn't have an additional. It would help him a hell of a lot. And again, especially with this, like early on, you're not going to want him to be hit that much because he wouldn't have stacked his defense too much. So getting this plus 7% crit chance is nice for 3 turns, but yeah, 5 or more times in battle on a unit that needs to stack to have good defense. Kind of weird. This guy had so much potential before EZAing. I'm not gonna lie. I think just kind of get rid of this and then just give him a built-in additional, or keep it and then give him a medium chance to launch an additional super attack with a built-in additional. I think would have been great, but weirdly they didn't give it to him. Then we have the free-to-play Gohan/Goku exchange unit, which again, neither skill neither here nor there. Raises defense by 30% for one turn, causes supreme damage to the enemy, and seals super attack. On his passive, or on their passive, gets attack and defense plus 150, plus an additional attack and defense plus 30%, and a great chance of evading enemies' attack, which that is a 70% chance to dodge. That's LRUI Goku levels of dodge. That's very nice. You get that for 5 turns from the start of turn. Then it goes down to a high chance of evading enemies' attack from the 6th turn, which that's still a 50% chance to dodge. That's fine. Then an additional attack and defense plus 50% starting from the turn in which the character evades the 3rd attack in battle. So that means within the first 5 turns from the start of turn, this is how things could go. You get 150 attack and defense at the start of turn. You get the additional attack and defense plus 30% and has that 70% chance to evade for 5 turns. Because you have a 70% chance to evade, it's quite likely you will dodge 3 attacks within those 5 turns relatively easily, where you'll get the extra attack and defense plus 50%. So after you do that, you'll have 150 plus the 30% for 5 turns. You'll have the extra 50% from evading the 3rd attack, which means in total, the Gohan and Goku will have 230% attack and defense, and you'll still probably have like 2, maybe even 3 turns left of having a 70% chance to dodge on top of that, along with raising their defense by 30% on super. So that's very nice for a free-to-play unit. It's kind of funny how the Cooler started off with so much potential. These two didn't look that good pre-EZA, and now they've kind of flipped. Yeah, the Cooler could have been so much better, literally with just a built-in additional. That's quite nice. And then the target enemy's attack and defense minus 20% for 3 turns after the character evades the 6th attack in battle. This is going to be very easy to get off. However, usually these parts of passives on units just don't really do too much, but I kind of guess it's better than having it than not. Do the active skill conditions change? No, it doesn't look like they do. Still, the active conditions are solid. This is very easy to get off, the 6 dodges. Then after they exchange and we get the Goku out post EZA, he will raise attack and defense by 30% on super and cause supreme damage to the enemy. Recovers 50% HP once only. That's nice. That's nice. You don't even have to die. Usually revivals, you know, you need to die to get this type of HP. Well, if we're playing it just by exchanging, you can recover 50% of your HP. That's nice. That's actually really nice. Attack and defense plus 180 at the start of turn. Guards all attacks when HP is 70% or more. That's nice. Now, realistically, you're not going to be taking this guy in like the premium hard content like Cell Max. In fact, I mean, with the dodging, you might. Who knows? You know, you're realistically not going to take them in the hardest of content. Cell Max, Red Zone stages. So having this active in like Goku Vegeta event, Super Battle Road, and also Extreme Super Battle Road, where, you know, you're going to have 4 items. You have multiple outlets to heal, including this guy himself. This is going to be very easy to have his guard active a lot of the time, or the majority of the time at least. Also stuns the attacked enemy for 1 turn once only. That's very nice. We've seen it with, what is it, the EZA Tech Final Form Cooler, I'm pretty sure. Literally just guaranteed stun. That's very handy for the likes of Super Battle Road as well. Gets an additional attack and defense plus 59% for 5 turns after receiving an attack, which, as long as you have the guard, is going to be a lot safer to get this off. And then not to mention, for 5 turns after you do get that off, that means this Goku will have 239% attack and defense in total, as long as you have 77% more HP, you'll have that on top of having guard, which means this guy will tank very well. And then don't forget, he will also raise attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn, which means he's going to tank even better. And then if you get an additional from the dupe system, you will raise your attack and defense by 30% again, so that's 60% in total. This guy can tank not only very well initially, but any additional supers you get as well, he will tank next to nothing in some of the harder content for the free-to-play standard like Super Battle Road and ESPR. So that's great. And then what do we have down here? Launches an additional attack that has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when there is a terrifying Conqueror's category enemy. Hold on. Why has the exchange portion of the Gohan and Goku unit got an additional, but the Cooler who stacks his passive up to 50%, I know it doesn't take long, but you need supers, not just attacks like Final Form Coolers, and also stacks defense on super. Why does he not have an additional super? Or just a built-in additional? but the Goku does. The Cooler needed the additional way more, especially because he stacks and he's a free-to-play unit. Really weird. The Cooler should have this. I mean, it's nice the Goku does, but the Goku doesn't really need this, I'll be honest. Literally take this, give it to the Cooler. He needs it way more. So if you're facing a Terrifying Conqueror's enemy, this guy can tank. He can do some okay damage for a free-to-play unit, especially with the amount of attacks he can do. Also, he literally tank so well. Because if an ideal rotation comes off, you have the guard active, you have this. So the next time you come around, as I said, 239% attack and defense. As long as your HP is above 77% or more, you'll be guarding. You will then super attack, raise your attack and defense by 30% once. Built an additional in his passive against the Terrifying Conqueror's enemy, raise your attack and defense by 30% twice, that's 60%. And then because you can rainbow the unit out for 3, that's another additional that becomes a super attack, which means you can raise your attack and defense a third time by 30%, which means he can tank so well. It just doesn't make sense why this Goku got the additional and the Cooler didn't. It really didn't. That Cooler would have benefited so much more from a built-in additional and a 30% chance of that additional becoming a super attack. Not gonna lie, Dokkan, that's a bit of a weird one. Then we have the EZA, one of the EZAs or the only EZA, or one of the free-to-play coolers that, or meta coolers that get in Dokkan Awakenings. All the rest don't have them. I mean, maybe in the celebration they could get it in like part 3 if there is going to be a part 3, or maybe they could get EZAs down the line, but currently it's only the strength one is getting an EZA. Another one whose leader skills kind of neither here nor there. On super, causes supreme damage to enemy and raises extreme class allies attack and defense by 30% for one turn. That's really nice. That's really nice. Attack and defense plus 150 plus an additional attack and defense plus 50% when attacking. So not even when you super, just from attacking. Wicked Bloodline category allies get attack and defense plus 30% as well. That's really nice. He supports twice. You know, considering the categories he goes on, I'll just name the important ones where you're going to be with other Cooler and Frieza units. Movie bosses, Terrifying Conquerors, Wicked Bloodline, and some of Target Goku. You're going to be surrounded by extreme class enemies. Oh, sorry, extreme class allies. In fact, the majority of these teams you're going to be surrounded by extreme class allies. But the main ones, where he goes with Cooler and Frieza units, you're always going to be surrounded by extreme class allies. Which means they will be supported twice. With attacking defense plus 30% on super. And then the support in the passive for Wicked Bloodline category allies. Which a lot of them go on movie bosses and Terrifying Conquerors, and of course Wicked Bloodline itself. So Cooler and Frieza units just stay winning. However, the only reason why this isn't as good as it is because you need this guy to super first to get the double support. Which means for it to really take effect, you would need him in slot 1, which is obviously where you're not putting him. Unless maybe you go full dodge in the dupe system. But you would need this guy to be in slot 1 for the remainder of the rotation to really take advantage of this. Or at least slot 2 so one of them can take advantage of this. So while the double support is possible, it's not realistic if you're going to be using him in content. So more than likely, you're going to just be getting this off. But at least this portion and this portion does apply to himself. So this Meta Cooler is up, and they'll only be getting one support off of him, but it would be nice, and it is possible to get both, but like I said, realistically, it's not going to happen. Also, Wicked Bloodline category allies get a chance of forming a Kurokawa plus 10%, which is great. I mean, any 55% LR final form coolers, which myself has, he has more of a chance to crit, which is great. Launches an additional attack that's a high chance of becoming a super attack when all allies attacking in the same turn of Meta Cooler in their names. Now, I'm not going to lie, that's actually a lot more restrictive than you may think, because the only usable Meta Cooler units right now, specifically on Global, will be the EZA Dokkan Fest, who is literally just called Meta Cooler, and so is this guy, so they don't link together. The only other Cooler unit currently on Global that is somewhat usable, not very anymore, is the free-to-play Ultimate Clash LR Meta Cooler Army unit, which will get an EZA, isn't currently out on Global, so right now isn't currently runnable. However, the new LR Meta Cooler that we're going to get in part 2 on the Legendary Carnival banner, this kind of suggests to me maybe it's not going to just be called Meta Cooler, otherwise getting that off is going to be, you're never going to get that off. So maybe Meta Cooler from part 2 will be called Meta Cooler Army, or Meta Cooler stroke or brackets Meta Cooler Army. Obviously, we don't know yet what he does, so he could be a Metal Cooler army unit, because then you could have him in slot 1, which we all want him to be a slot 1 unit anyway, so we can go well with LR Final Form Cooler. But he can go in slot 1, also hopefully be a slot 1 unit. The Dokkan Fest can go in slot 2, the one that's getting an EZA, and then this guy can go in slot 3. Yes, they won't link together, but at least you can get that off. And at least 2 of the units will link together out of the 3, or you would probably, especially if the new one is a slot 1 unit, however he might not be, the EZA could go in slot 1, the new one could be a Metal Cooler army unit, goes in slot 2, then this guy's in slot 3 with the support, then at least everyone can link together. So the fact that that's there, and again, right now you can't really get this additional off by having everyone in the turn have Metal Cooler in their names, does suggest to me the new Part 2 LR Metal Cooler will have something else in his name, probably along the lines of Metal Cooler Army. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Otherwise, you're hardly ever going to see that additional ever. And then the remainder of the the remainder of the Dokkan Awakening chest Dokkan, the remainder of the Dokkan Awakenings for all the free-to-play Metal Cooler units, yeah, they're not usable, but you kind of do have to Dokkan Awaken them to get the Gacha tickets, the 50 summon tickets anyway. But in terms of what they all do the exact same thing, except the last portion of their passive. So this one recovers 50% damage dealt as HP. This one, all allies attack and defense plus 20%. The Int one recovers 7% HP at the start of turn. The Tech one, attacked enemies attack and defense minus 20% for 2 turns. And then finally the AGL one, all allies key plus 2 when HP is 40% or more. Medium chance of evading enemies attack, including super attack, which they could get EZAs and maybe a part 3, but probably not. They could also get EZAs later down the line. We'll have to see. But that's everything to go over. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Kind of weird how they didn't give the free-to-play Tech Cooler an additional. But that's just me. But as I said, do let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. And push!